Morning, folks. Today we're going to plant our potatoes. Now it's May 12th and most of you are probably already planted potatoes and saying, why is that knucklehead not planted his potatoes yet? Well, it's been cold. We had a little stretch of warmer weather there, but we've been down in the low 20s, upper teens the past few nights, and I just hate struggling with this cold weather. So now the forecast looks good. It looks like we're done with the freezing weather for a while at night, and we have some rain coming tomorrow. And it looks like a warming trend. So I think we're safe. But I'm going to plant 5 pounds of potatoes in this bed right here. And I'm going to tell you how we prepared this bed and all of our beds is last fall, after everything was harvested, I spread about a 2-inch layer of chopped leaves on top of every one of our raised beds, all 10 of them. And then it's kind of putting them to bed for the winter, and it's a blanket over them, and it kind of insulates them a little bit, but it preps them for the spring. Because come spring, these beds thaw significantly faster than the surrounding ground, another benefit of raised beds. So by April, you're able to dig into these things, and it's amazing. The earthworms, the night crawlers, every scoopful is teeming with them. And they're already breaking down that top layer of leaves. So what I do is I go around and I dig. I turn those leaves into the soil with our go-to tool, the digging fork. And then I put another layer of fresh chopped leaves on top. And that's where we're at right now. So I'm going to pull these off and then plant our potatoes in the soil underneath them, and then I'm going to respread the chopped leaves on top and add even more. Now I'm going to take you and show you what's going on in our soil here. It's really something. Okay, you're gonna have to kind of bear with me here. It's kind of hard to one-hand this, but I'm just gonna turn over a forkful of soil here. And of course we have, some adult worms. But I don't know if you can see this. I'll try to zoom in on them. Okay, now look right here. And they're everywhere. Right? It's almost everywhere you look. There are baby earthworms. Now I know earthworms aren't native. It's hard to believe, but they were not here for like 11,000 years after the last glaciers. Our forests were like a fungal dominated forest. The duff layer was thick because the fungi primarily and bacteria slowly decompose that cool and moist duff layer. Now with earthworms, they consume leaves at an amazing rate. They're like college students eating a pizza. It's amazing. We'll take a walk in our woods one of these days, and I'm going to show you what goes on there. So they're not necessarily good for our forests, for keeping the types of forests that were here. Of course, people aren't the best things for them either, but they're here, and we're going to use them. They're the best thing that we can use here in our gardens. And we're going to promote them and put them to work. And so what I'm going to do is remove this layer of chopped leaves, and I'll put it in the garden cart, and then we'll chop up some more and add to it. Now what we're planting are these Purple Majesties. I don't know if I can get this to focus. There is Purple that's all they had at the garden center, besides russets, and we're not crazy about growing russets. Now these might make a nice potato to add to roasting, you know, big platter of roasted vegetables, and add some color, and I'm sure they're really good for you with all those purple pigments and everything, anthomycins or whatever they're called. But yeah, there's a limit to what's good for you, you know, and we don't want purple mashed potatoes for Thanksgiving. We grew some of those black carrots last year. Well, they turned everything purple. Everything they were cooked in became purple. And I'm sure they're good for you, but it just wasn't very appealing or appetizing. I'm sure these potatoes will probably do the same thing. So anyways, we're gonna get some good red potatoes or something and plant in this bit. But we'll get this one planted, and I'll show you how we do it. So I just spread them out, and they're far too close together. I'm sure people that know what they're doing will see, there he goes again, not knowing what he's doing. But I don't really care. I don't really want these potatoes, but I have them, so I'm going to grow them, and I'll pack them in there. Probably double what I should, but we'll see how it goes. So I'm just going to take where they are, I'll spread them out a little more evenly, and I'm just going to push them down into the soil a good inch or two, again, because this is deeper than we generally do. We generally fill the bottom part of the planter of the bed with good soil and a layer of compost, then add our seed potatoes, and then a thick layer of chopped leaves on top. So this is a little different, but we'll see how it goes. I got all the potatoes, I spaced them a little more evenly, and I imagine I dug them down about 2 inches each. And the soil is just so loose and workable that it's so easy to do that. And then I took the leaves that I had taken off and put them, and they're just on the back part there. So we need quite a few more. So I'm going to show you how we go about collecting and chopping our leaves. Oh, well, this is promising. I actually shed my jacket for the first time, gosh, in several days. Okay, so several ways to collect chopped leaves. In the fall, we take out the big guns. We use our riding mower, our garden tractor, and we go over the lawn with that and just go over it, kind of keep going over the same area several times, and just kind of keep chopping and kind of windrow the leaves into a long strip, and they're nicely chopped, and it goes fast. And then we attach the lawn sweeper, and this thing holds lots of leaves, and we just fill it with the chopped leaves. And then we take that over here to our garden beds, and every one of our raised beds then gets our 2-inch layer of chopped leaves to put them to bed for the winter. So then we have a lot of leaves left over yet. So what we did last fall is we bagged up dozens of bags of leaves, and most of these aren't chopped. And what we did is we put them all around the space underneath our guest cabin, which is, you know, open underneath. And so we kind of made a skirt of bags of chopped leaves, or bags of leaves. What a difference. I think we got an extra 2 months out of a propane tank fill. I don't know why we didn't do that years ago. So now we have all these bags of chopped leaves. So one way to do it, if you don't own a mower, we have a rear bagging mower. It's a mulching mower, it's walk behind, self-propelled. And for smaller jobs, that's what we do. But when the leaves are thick in the soil, on the grass, you go 20 feet with that thing and the bag is full. But for smaller jobs, what I just did is I kind of went around the perimeter of our property, just around the edges where the leaves had blown back into the yard from the woods. And I just picked up a bagger full real quick. So we'll dump that on there. But then I want to show you another method for you folks who don't have a bagger, or folks who are in town and you just want to use your leaves as we do on our garden beds. So just take leaves and now just put them in an empty trash can. And I kind of overfilled it. I found that If you have a string trimmer better than ours, you can get away with filling it fuller. But I find filled about half full works well for us. So I'll fire this thing up. Hopefully it'll run. It helps, but sometimes it really eats the trimmer cord. I think it's the sticks in there. Other times I can go several fills without it doing much damage, but you know, quick as that, we have about a 75% reduction in volume. So one of those bags filled with leaves, that's about two fills of the trash can. And I find it takes about 3 of those trash can loads to put a good layer on the raised bed. So then the other thing is to use the rear bagger. And this works really well. It's convenient. And probably 2 of these and you got your whole raised bed filled with chopped leaves. So we'll spread those on top and we'll come back during the summer and see how I did. So until we fill the next one with hopefully some nice mid-season red potatoes. That sounds good to me. This is Mark with Backwood Basics. Let's grow together.